into Peaches and Power Bombs. What is good, everybody? Welcome to the show. I am Sarah Hirsch. To my other side, it's backwards. My co-host, Tina Miller.
Hi,
and
everybody.
We have our special guest with us. He's been on with us before. We're glad to have you back, Tim Sherry.
Ladies, how goes it tonight?
Yeah, he's been on with you, not with me.
Oh,
he's
true.
been running.
There's something going on there. Yeah.
So, wow, it's been a week.
Oh my goodness.
Big one.
Where do we start?
Oh boy.
Oh, I know you forgot something on there, Tina, when we were just talking about it a minute ago.
Okay, what was that?
Talking about Jeff Hardy.
Oh. See, there's so much going on.
I know.
Well, we'll go ahead and just start with that since you brought it up.
Okay. Well, hopefully, people are getting on and figuring out the same things we are. Okay, what we got to talk about?
5 million things.
I know. Gosh. It seems like every time you turn around, there is something going on. You're like, So, yeah. I know, Mina. It's been a long week.
It's been mostly bad news all week too. Like nothing good has happened.
Nothing good.
No one's kissing babies or petting puppies. Come on.
No.
Of course, I try to grab her and she runs. So that's her favorite thing to do. So, yeah, let's start with Jeff Hardy because obviously that's the tipping point here. People giving him a lot of flack. Obviously he had been arrested, DUI, under the influence of alcohol. As far as I know, he has accepted Tony Khan's invite or proposal to enter rehab. Yeah. And obviously he is suspended from AEW from the time being. So Tim, what is your take on it?
I'm happy. I hadn't heard that about the him. I heard that rehab had been offered. I hadn't heard that he had accepted it. It's a sad story. And it would be one thing if this was his first time or second time. I've lost track of times. I don't know how many DUIs he's had, but how many, either some type of, drug or alcohol related incident has happened. I've lost track. So he's obviously a guy with a lot of demons. And again, even at how old's Jeff now?
He's in his 40s.
Mid 40s. Yeah, and he's he's moving around like he's about twice that at this point. So the pain he's in, I'm assuming that probably contributed to what was happening. But I'm happy he's looking to get some help. Hopefully this time it'll stick.
Mm-hmm. I think it goes without saying that people are giving him a lot of flack, but too, addiction is real. It is harder than what people think. So it's a battle every day. Whatever kind of addiction you're dealing with, it's a battle every day, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. So as far as I'm concerned, best wishes to Jeff Hardy because I like to see him overcome this, and you never know. It's just really hard, really, really hard. And I know he's fighting as hard as he can. Sometimes you lose, but the fact that he wanted to go into rehab and all that, that's always a good thing. So he's trying. It's got a lot of issues. Tina, we'll talk with you now.
Yeah, I think we reported on Wrestling Inc. that this had been his third DUI within the last 5 years, I believe.
Or was it 10?
No, 5.
5. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And also, that's not the only thing, is that he was also driving with a suspended license. So whether he was sober or not, he should not have been driving at all. So there's that too. Obviously, everybody loves Jeff, right? He's such a likable person and a likable character on TV. We just want the best for him, but he has to be willing to accept it. And if he goes to rehab and gets the help he needs, I really think that he needs to quit worrying about wrestling and just focus on himself and his family and just let the rest go.
I listened to their interview, Matt and Jeff both on Talk is Jericho, and Jeff sounded really good, and so it was sad, but it's a lifelong struggle, and it's you just, if unless you've been through it, you really can't understand the pressure and the battle that you deal with. So best wishes to him.
Yeah, there's also a rumor kicking around too that was supposed to be the Hardys winning the belts the other night,
Yeah.
instead of the Bucks, which would have made sense. They had won at the pay-per-view. They would have been the number one contenders or right in that mix. I mean, that's a nice kick in the crotch too when you think about it. I mean, they would have been. They had to be. I'm trying to think. There hasn't been many tag team champions, right? So they had to be the first duo to hold the WWE and AEW tag team championships. That would have been a really big deal. So that's another tough one to swallow.
No, the FTR.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. How can I forget my favorite tag team in the world? How can I possibly forget that? But still, big. That's a big spot for them, and it's really unfortunate for the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on, we're going to go ahead and say hello to everybody in the chat.
All right.
Julian.
Hey, Julian. I'm glad you got my text. I told him we're going live.
Our regular Shannon is in
the
chat. Your chopped liver, Tim. Ron is in the house. Hello.
Hey, Ron.
Ray, of course, right on.
Ray all day.
Yes, and I have a special gift just for Ray too. That was just for you, Ray. Sherry is here.
Hey, Sherry.
And Ron says, what sucks with the whole situation is that WWE offered to help him, but he declined. Now he's in trouble, but man, did the WWE get heat for offering to help him. Now who's getting the heat? Hope he gets help.
He's absolutely right. I mean, they offered him help when he walked out, like literally just walked out of that match, that house show. They offered him help.
Drug test was negative, though.
I know, but there was clearly something going on in his brain that maybe even led him back down that path, and they were there for him. And he's absolutely right. People were all over the WWE for that, acting like they just jumped to conclusions, but apparently they were onto something.
Yeah,
it gets to be a sticky situation fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And some more people saying that they're hoping that Jeff is getting help, and then David says hello as well.
Hi.
Okay, more bad news.
That should be the name of this episode. Just bad news all around.
Bad news. Okay, I'll have to. Someone's trying to call me, and I'll have to call him back when we received some bad news that legendary referees, both Dave Hebner and Tim White, have passed away within dates of each other. Obviously, they were very legendary and vocal points within the 80s and the 90s, and it's just sad. Of course, everybody
both
remembers.
of them were respected too.
Yeah, very much so. So I was very sad to hear this news.
Yeah, I love hearing the stories about them over the last few days. Jericho had some good ones. I think MVP had a couple of good ones that he shared on social media. So
I thought it was weird that WWE acknowledged Tim White's death, but not Dave Hebner's death.
Oh, they didn't. I missed that.
I know they fired Earl Hebner because of the merchandise thing. Did something happen with Dave Hebner and the WWE back in the day, or did they just
think so?
Because he was in that big angle with Hulk Hogan. They did that.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. I just thought that was weird that they didn't acknowledge his passing.
I didn't know that. I missed the beginning, so. Yeah, it's sad all around, and thoughts and prayers and condolences goes out to the friends, fans, and family of both of these legendary referees.
Well, let me just ask this too, if this is inappropriate, I don't know, but Tim White was the one who did that lunchtime suicide angle, right? In the WWE, where they would post those vignettes of him like trying to kill himself every week. Do you guys remember that?
No.
I wrote it when I wrote for Daily DDT. I wrote an article about the 5 most offensive things that have ever happened in the WWE, and Tim White's lunchtime suicide. Look it up. You can look it up on YouTube. It's horribly offensive. It's you can tell. You
I don't
can
remember
tell.
that.
Yeah, you can tell it's right up his alley, like with his sense of humor. He was a very out there kind of guy, and he did like to push the envelope a bit. But yeah, look it up. It's an interesting thing. Now it's funny. Like at the time, it was very offensive, but now it's funny. But yeah, it's really tragic. It's sad. But I know Dave was battling with he had what was it? I actually just had it here a second ago. 73. Wow, he was only 7. I mean, that's young. It's young these days, right? 73.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate, and yeah, they'll be missed.
Was that in the 80s or the 90s?
What, the lunchtime suicide?
Yeah.
That was in like the early 2000s. Hold on.
Okay, that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah, it started at the end of 2005.
Yep, that's why.
He was like this despondent referee that kept trying to kill himself. I'm telling you, look it up. It's interesting.
Yeah, I stopped watching wrestling right after WrestleMania 18, and then I didn't watch it again until 2011. So.
Any particular reason? What happened? What happened at 18? Was that the?
No, it's the fact that I was getting older and started recognizing how badly they were treating women on their program. And
at that time, yeah.
As a 14-year-old, I was like, "That's disgusting. I don't want to watch that." So
I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, I stopped watching wrestling on TV, but I still went to like independent shows and stuff like that. All right, we got any comments? Just more people saying hello. Thank you for stopping
Chris
by.
from the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Hey.
Oh, this one's fun. Bad news, I guess, for if you're Vince McMahon.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh man. Okay, so basically, he is in some hot water. The WWE Board of Directors is investigating something that happened 3 years ago, where he had a relationship with a certain employee, and he paid them $3 million in order to keep it quiet. Was it his own money, or was it the company's money, or
the company's money?
Okay.
Oh boy,
that's why it's the investigation. That's what they're investigating.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was his money. Is it is one thing, but it was with WWE money, as far as from what I understand.
And I just read that John Laurinaitis is now on administrative leave as well, and Bruce Pritchard is taking his job. And of course, Stephanie McMahon is taking over as interim CEO as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going on with this. There's a lot of speculation. This very thing is the reason why Stephanie McMahon took that leave of absence a couple of weeks ago. You might as well just say she just had a little vacation. But yeah, so, and then, there's more speculation because apparently Nia Jax tweeted something about it back in April, and nobody had no idea what she was talking about. And now that this has come to light, that tweet makes sense. And so, yeah, it is a mess. I definitely think there's a lot more to be uncovered, but whew, that's a mess right there, y'all.
I'm always a very, I think everything's a conspiracy. That's just my nature. But I started thinking to myself, like, do you think maybe Vince had a feeling this was coming, so he sent Stephanie on a little vacation, get some rest, because you're going to be taking things over for a little bit.
Well,
and I know he's still doing creative, which means nothing's going to change. But
the investigation,
it's interesting timing.
The investigation has actually been going on for several months now.
Oh boy!
So it just finally broke last week. So we just didn't know it was going on when it actually was.
Okay, good.
And then, of course, he has to go out there the past 2 nights and just flex. And
what was that?
It was him flexing and saying, "I'm still here. I'm still in
Yeah,
charge."
that's
in your face.
basically what that was. It's a stroke of power.
Did
That's
he come
all.
out last night on Raw?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't get to watch Raw last night. It's in my DVR, so but I watched some of SmackDown, and he just came out and just said something. He sounds horrible now. You don't even know what he's saying half the time. But
Yeah.
I just, I mean, what was that? And he threw the mic, just this kind of like literal mic drop. Like I didn't get what was going on there. Nothing. That's all you're gonna say.
Nothing.
Basically, it was actions
Like you can't
speak
touch me
louder
because
than words.
it's kind of like you can't touch me. I'm rich. You can't touch
Yeah.
me, kind of thing,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of insulting. To I mean, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was-
and yeah, it's just stroke of power for him. You know, I'm still here. I'm not going nowhere. Basically,
That might not
actions
be
speak
his
louder
decision.
than words.
I mean, he might have no say in the matter. It's a publicly traded company. This
Yeah.
is a board of directors matter at this point. You paid somebody $3 million of company money in it's hush money. It was, and not for nothing, but he was paying her as a paralegal. He was paying her an annual salary of $200,000. I know paralegals. You don't make that $200,000. Believe me on that. Something was going on there. And then now there's rumors about what was going on with her and Laurinaitis too. I'm wondering if this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the powder keg. Here we go. Like I don't know. The whole thing is really shady. It sounds like something rich people do. And but
Rich
now
and
it's coming to light.
shameless.
You're right. And now they're being held accountable for it. So it's really interesting. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely think there's a whole lot more that what meets the surface.
Yeah, and things have just been coming out of certain people saying things too. I think a passage in what AJ Lee said in her book has started trending on Twitter about
Ooh.
how she was basically told, yes, you can wrestle, but no one wants to have intercourse with you, so we can't. You're not marketable, or
Interesting.
we're not going to make money off of you. So
Okay, well that's wrong. That's just not factual, first of all. But
Yeah.
I mean, well, do you guys remember, I don't know, a month or two ago with Serena Deeb when she made that comment on AEW about having to get breast implants for the last people she worked for? So I mean, there's a lot of things. Maybe people all kind of knew about this because now they're all kind of starting to run their mouths about stuff, which is a good thing. These things should come to light, especially when they're, Vince has been doing shit. And not for nothing, but this is going to be the first time in 40 years that he's not running the company.
Yeah.
I mean, this is unprecedented in our lifetimes. It's really wild. I mean, I'm 41 years old, and Vince McMahon my whole life has been, since I've been making memories, has been running that company. And now suddenly he's not at the moment, and who knows for the future.
I know it's insane. It's like Twilight.
Idiotic
Zone
daughter
almost.
and doofus son-in-law.
yeah, here we are. Oh, I'll take them back in a heartbeat at this point. My God.
Yes.
Yeah,
At least with them,
wow.
at least with them, people wouldn't be treated like that backstage.
Mhm.
Oh, of course.
You might
yeah.
not agree with everything that they do, but at least people would feel safe. So,
Yeah, and you remember how the NXT roster felt about Triple H. They were
loved him.
Oh my God, he was like their dad. So that's I hope he can come back in some capacity. Obviously, he's got some health issues. I hope he can come back in some capacity because he's got such a great mind for the business, and I really think he can do it. And they need somebody right now with a fresh perspective because what we're watching is just so horribly monotonous each week.
Yeah,
And so I think they need a new twist here. So hopefully he'll come back.
Yeah,
Stephanie could run.
Go ahead.
Stephanie could run the business part, and he could run the creative part.
Sure.
It'd be a great combination.
Love
Triple
that.
H and Sean both have a lot of positive feedback from NXT. So put Triple H back in there because obviously, nobody had nothing bad to say really from them in NXT. So.
And no one has anything bad to say about Stephanie either. I hear a lot of good things about Stephanie as well. So.
I was just thinking about that, and then Mickey James was it on Wrestling Inc. or no? She was somebody did an interview with her, and she was praising Stephanie like, you worked your whole life for this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, Okay then. Not that I'm a fan of Stephanie or anything, but
All right, what do we got in here? Okay, Ron is asking who you are, Tim.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Jeez, you want like the Cliff's Notes version of me, or I used to actually I used to yeah. Sarah and I used to write. We were writing at the same time on when we were on Daily DDT. I was a pro wrestler myself when I was young. God, half a lifetime ago. Because I'm 41 now. I wrestled when I was 18 till I was about 24, and I've just been a lifelong wrestling fan outside of that. So, but I don't know these girls personally. You live very far away from me. I live outside of Boston. I just happen to be a Braves fan, so I wore them. I wore it tonight because I thought it was apropos.
Yes, well, it is. We're both from Georgia, and it's called Peaches and Power Bombs. So
I thought the Atlanta hat
fits.
worked.
It does.
Also, Tim has his own podcast called The Movie Council.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it.
Shannon says Vince just acting like nothing is wrong. Classic.
Oh yeah,
Right, right.
Carla, you know,
Absolutely right. It's outrageous. Have just a shred of humility, like.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, someone in incognito over here. Sweetest gals in podcasting.
Ooh, I love that.
Love the
Thank
show.
you.
Keep up the great work.
Yeah, I like the incognito drop in right there. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a secret admirer.
I love it. God, love this storyline.
Yeah. Shannon says, lifestyles.
That's what I
shameless.
said.
And these are the days of our wrestling lives. I love these.
Love it.
Julian asking, do you think Vince will get fired over this when the results are in? Well, it depends on what that result is.
Yeah, I think there's certain grounds he can get fired on. There's been articles written about it, but as far as me reading them and looking into them, I haven't. But it is very possible, depending on what they find and.
Keep going.
Yeah.
It could happen. I mean, right now, if I guess if I were to actually say yes or no, I would have to lean towards yes, he will. Again, this isn't going to come down to the McMahons making the decision here, I mean, even though they are on the board. But this is a board of directors who will ultimately make this decision, and they vote. If it's how many ever, if more vote yes and less vote no, he's out. That's just how it works. So. Right now, like I said, if I had to say yes or no, it looks pretty bad for him. This looks really bad.
It does. I mean, it's a publicly traded company. Do you want to make your company look bad and your stockholders ditching, and also to the fact that they're also moving away and trying to do this where a family-friendly environment show, right? We're trying to cater to families. And you can't do that when the dude in charge has all these allegations.
Right, especially when you're he and Linda are married, but they're not really. But still, he's a married man.
Yeah.
Oops.
And there was something going on there. So I mean, yeah, you're right. In that regard, that's a problem, and you got to think the board will see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Some more speculation.
What a week.
We don't know.
Is she not? It's all but confirmed at this point.
Yeah.
WTF is going on? I don't know. This is going to be one of those. This is going to be long and dragged out, I think. I would think at this point, yeah, she's probably released, but at the same time, it just, I don't know. You would think they would have made a statement or something. I mean, there's worse that's happened. People walking out and etc. But it does. If once it's confirmed, that's big because Sasha was one of their 4 horsewomen. Mm-hmm. She's been involved in a lot of firsts, a lot of groundbreaking moments for the WWE Women's Division. Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't think nobody said anything about Naomi yet.
I was just going to ask
No,
that. I think
no.
that's still. I mean, you got to think because she's married to what, Jimmy Uso, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That could be an interesting wild card right there because he's pretty important to the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you know, and I didn't get to hear you guys in the last couple of weeks. Did you went over what happened with them, right? And
Yes.
okay, good. All right, because
Yeah.
I heard the whole thing and I went, yeah, they had a right to be pissed. This is just
Yeah.
Yeah, I
absolutely
agree.
ridiculous. It's I mean, listen, if everybody in the WWE right now walked out due to booking, they would lose 90% of their talent. Like they just the booking has been so horrific outside of like what Reigns. Reigns has been
Yeah.
brilliant. Outside of that, I don't know.
And I listen to Matt and Jeff on Talk is Jericho. I listen to Tony Storm on Talk is Jericho, Swerve Strickland as well. But it ain't just them; it's a whole plethora of people. They're saying the same exact thing about how chaotic it is backstage. Nobody knows what's going on, doesn't know what they're doing. Tony Storm, she was like, she just got tired of it, and she was like, I'm not coming back. Screw this.
Yeah, that girl walked out and just went home. Just
Yeah, she was
paid
like,
for
I'm
a
not
flight.
doing this.
Where's she from? New Zealand? New Zealand?
Yes.
Australia? She just went home. She just took like a 20-hour flight home. That's how enough she had of it. By the way, congratulations to Tony Storm, by the way. She just either got engaged or married.
Married.
Yeah,
She married
revealed
Juice
that
Robinson.
She was married to
Right.
Congratulations. My heart is broken. I thought maybe there was even just that much of it, maybe that much of a chance at some point down the line. But yeah, congratulations to her. I actually big Tony Storm fan. I'm not trying to get off topic here, but big win for her last week. She cut an awesome promo on the last Dynamite
she did.
too.
That was awesome.
One of the only good parts of that show. But she's I think hopefully she's coming around. But sorry, I tend to have like tributaries when I start talking
it's
here.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right.
That's okay.
But the point, same things. I mean, they're not repeating this just for hearsay. They're obviously, if a bunch of people are saying the exact same thing, you already know that's the case. Like, this isn't surprising.
Yeah. I was going to say that the person who broke the news about Sasha being released was Raj Giri, who is my boss at Wrestling Inc.
Mhm.
And Raj is very to the nose about stuff. He's very straightforward. He does not report speculation. And I've had incidences where I'd send him things. I was like, I've seen this. What do you think about this? And he'd be go, well, that's not confirmed, so we're going to hold on that. I've had several instances of that. So, I know Raj. So if he reports something, he's heard it from the company, somebody in the company. Now, whether or not they're going to actually, say yes or no, but that's not really on him though. So I just wanted to throw that out there that, Raj wouldn't report anything that's speculative.
Yeah.
So. All right. What the show is named after. The injury bug has bitten. Keep Eddie Kingston safe. Put him in a bubble in his own room. Don't let anything happen to him because Dynamite is solely relying on that man right now.
Yeah, they don't have anybody else. I mean, like, what else are they going to do?
CM Punk, Bryan Danielson it should be back soon, but still.
He's supposed to be at Forbidden Door, I think.
Well, he's going to be on the show on Wednesday, and he's supposed to address Forbidden Door and Blood and Guts. So we'll see. We'll see what that is all about. Adam Cole shouldn't be out for too much longer either. But Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton are both out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
And I don't even know what Rhea Ripley's injury is, but
I don't know either.
God, that's heartbreaking. She is absolutely maybe my favorite person in the entire WWE right now. I think she's an absolute superstar. That's bad timing. I mean, it's bad timing on everybody. Look, I mean, talk about bad timing and talk about CM Punk. Did you guys see how he did it?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was like, so was it when he was jumping into the crowd or was it when he was in that match when he was like
in the match?
Okay, because people were saying, they broke it down afterwards because there's a video on I'm a glutton for certain things. There's a Twitter page called AEW Botches, and it just shows them screwing things up, and it makes me laugh. All right. I don't want people to do bad, but it makes me laugh. Okay. And I botched many things when I was wrestling, so it's fine. But they showed him jumping into the crowd, him smashing his foot off the guardrail. And he looked a little gimpy after he did that. So,
well, yeah,
not
that
sure.
probably didn't help, but whatever happened there, it was that was the final nail in the coffin in the match. Whatever.
It could have been both. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he was already like, oh, that didn't feel right. And then that springboard, he needs to stop doing that springboard in general. But it's
just the way he landed stuff, you already know something wasn't right. So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this too. Okay. So Cody gets hurt, right? Do you think the plan was Cody and Roman at SummerSlam, or do you think they're holding that?
I think they're
for
holding
WrestleMania.
That. Honestly, I thought it was going to be Roman and Randy at SummerSlam.
I heard that rumor too.
Yeah,
I heard that rumor too.
That's what I was expecting, but Randy now has to have back surgery, so he'll be out.
Well, if you look at the timetable, if Cody can come back a little early, he might be able to make the Rumble.
Yeah, that's
possibly
highly likely. Mm-hmm.
And then, I can't think of a bigger match right now at WrestleMania than Cody and Roman.
And you know
huge.
what? I really think with the Cody chasing the belt, I think it's gonna be drawn out. I don't think it's gonna be he's gonna rush get to it, win at WrestleMania. I expect him to get screwed a couple of times.
Yeah.
Before he gets it, because once he gets it, that it will be even sweeter because they're not going to, it's not going to be easy for him. It really isn't. But yeah, I thought he could have been a potential Money in the Bank winner. I thought about that. It could go, that's the thing. It could go a lot of ways, and with injuries in play, unfortunately, they're really having they really need to put their thinking cap on.
I don't know, maybe bring back a couple guys you released.
Well,
tell me you guys wouldn't pop if like Cesaro came back. Like I'd lose my mind.
Yeah.
Bring back like two, anything at this point, because you got Roman who wants to go part-time. I just heard a rumor the other day. Sheamus was on some podcast talking about how he wants to go part-time. Randy's hurt. Lesnar's once in a while. You don't really have anybody. You're just gonna rely on what, Drew McIntyre and that stupid sword each week. Like I don't know. I mean, Bobby Lashley. I love Lashley, but you're so
sure. Don't they got him involved in a stupid feud or something?
Well, I think he's getting a shot at Theory. Oh, sorry, no, I'm sorry, Austin Theory. I'm calling him that.
Thank you.
I'm not calling him Theory.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be, which I don't mind. Because I like Austin Theory a lot. But they are so light on main event talent. It's like you guys say this all the time. They've backed themselves into a corner in a booking sense. It's so true. Mm-hmm. And when you don't develop superstars who are ready to go, this is a physical sport. People get hurt. You have to have people ready to go, and they don't have anybody to do that right now. Nobody young, at least. So
I will say this: Friday, with Roman and Riddle, that was good.
Riddle can work. Riddle can really work. I don't love whatever character they're having him do. I think I told you this the last time I was on here, Sarah. I saw him at an independent wrestling show back in Melrose, Massachusetts, maybe 4 years ago. And he was a straight up savage, badass. And then they just make him this kind of geeky, borderline stoner, which he is, in WWE. And it's this kid's a former UFC fighter. He's a shoot fighter, a pretty good one at that. He won fights in the UFC. And now he just comes out with the scooter and come on. They could portray him as something bigger and stronger. I think that works. He's a shoot fighter. He's legitimately could beat any of us up.
Yes.
Well, most of them could anyways, me at least. But I don't know. I really question some of this sometimes. And
I agree with that for the most part, but I will say this. When he came out on that camel at Crown Jewel,
no, it was funny. It was funny, but yeah. No, I did too.
Okay, so yeah, basically, and it's not like they don't have talent to build up in order to be able to face Roman at some point. Do they have to win? No, but at least build them up in order to make them look like that they could. You have Damian Priest. You have AJ Styles.
Hello.
You
Priest
have
is the one that keeps popping in my head.
you have Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
You
Balor.
have all these people. All
AJ
you have
Styles.
to do is give
Tommaso
them some
Ciampa.
steam.
Yeah.
All you have to do is give them some steam. But
Yeah,
no.
actually book somebody appropriately. I know that's like a foreign idea these days in the WWE. Just book someone solid and see what they can do. Give it a shot. They used to try.
Can we talk about how they messed Judgment Day up?
Oh God. It's the only thing I liked most weeks lately.
And then the reason why they did it was because Edge didn't like the way it was taking a supernatural turn. And they're like, oh, okay, you want to be like that? Here, let's do this and make this even more messed up. I'm like, seriously?
It was working. It was working. And I thought they were going to add more people to it. I saw Tommaso Ciampa joining. Like, it was working. And then they was just like, nope. And like, you figure a guy like Edge would have at least the amount of pull to be like, no, we're not doing this.
He did, and apparently not.
Yeah, it's bad.
And then
it's
again,
bad.
it might
God.
not have been something. It might not have been that at all, but that was what the word was, and I was just like,
if they go supernatural,
oh my God, this makes no sense. But I'd be all for Edge versus Demon Balor. I won't lie. I like that.
Yeah, or like I wouldn't have like you mentioned Priest as far as pushing a guy to the main event. If you push Priest as the leader of Judgment Day, then he's legitimate. Hopefully, if they're not doing supernatural hocus pocus nonsense, if they actually just make him a badass, which he is. He's got the size, he's got the look, he can work, he can talk, he's got everything it takes. Now, if you make him the leader and push him strong, I think that's a winner.
I think he's fine too.
Well, yeah, of course. He's like 6'6", like he's in great shape, winning smile. I mean, come on.
I had to say.
I would have been more interested in seeing Priest versus Edge than Balor, honestly.
Yeah,
but just because of
both were
something different. Real quick, Sherry, no one knows.
Yeah, we don't know.
No one knows. I tried to look it up, and no one knows.
Nothing on Google on Ripley.
No.
I thought it was really weird last night on Raw. They had Bianca Belair come out and announce Rhea's injury and stuff, and then announce the Fatal 5-Way, and I'm like,
yeah, but they didn't say what her injury was.
Yeah, she didn't say nothing about it, and then they had her announce the Fatal 5-Way, and I'm like, why are they letting her announce all this stuff? But
Julia and Cody ripped his pec. It's clean.
Torn pectoral muscle.
Oh yeah. Google images of that if you want to see how bad it was.
Shannon says the plan was Roman and Randy.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah.
They had a lot of potential stars to build, and they released them all.
Exactly. That's exactly. They had a few of them down at NXT, and they just let them go.
That's why they're calling Cena to come back. I think that was already in the making even before all the injuries.
At this point,
Cena is coming back next week to celebrate the 20 years, and I definitely think there's going to be something with him in Theory too. So that's the talk, and honestly, I think that would be good. Man, Theory did a good photo shoot, like tribute to John Cena. It looked good. I was like,
yeah.
Look at him.
He's from Georgia, right?
Yes.
Austin Theory.
Yes.
Okay, and he was like a bodybuilder or something before he became a wrestler. He was probably even bigger then, but they're like huge on this kid. Hopefully, and imagine they do Cena Theory at SummerSlam and Cena puts him over. Like that's a career maker. Like that's huge.
Austin Theory is like their pet project right now. I mean, it is obvious they are high on him.
He's so good.
When we interviewed AC Mack was telling us how Austin Theory, they train together, and he was texting him all this stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, they like you. They like you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But at his age, his work in the ring, he's beyond his years. It's impeccable. He's so clean. He always knows where to be. He feeds correctly. He bumps great. And then he's got all the other stuff. Of course, the look. He can talk. He's got charisma. He's got it all, really.
Yeah, he really does.
Yep. I remember watching him a couple years ago around here and just being like, that dude's got something.
He can jump out of a building, too.
He's got a punchable face, but he can make that work for him.
That's a good thing to have in the industry.
Yeah,
I mean, think about MJF. Have you ever seen a more punchable face in your life?
Sammy Guevara.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I'd love to take just a cheap shot, but I hate him.
I mean, if you could get him to stop making out with Ty Conti, maybe you could punch him in the face.
You know, you can sucker punch her right afterwards. I'm totally fine with that.
Right.
It's fine by me. I'm not going to square up with that dude. I'm way too old for that, but God.
Okay, so really quick, I'm not going to go through the whole card, but I will announce who we have so far in the Money in the Bank ladder matches. We have Seth Rollins and Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, and last night Omos qualified. I can't remember who he went over. Gosh,
he went against Riddle.
Right?
I would have rather had Riddle.
That's ridiculous.
In a ladder match. He's so clunky in a traditional match. I cannot imagine him in a ladder match.
There are supposed to be. Oh, sorry. You're not done yet. Sorry. Go ahead.
And the last one will be determined on SmackDown with Nakamura versus Sami Zayn.
Tina, I also got. Hold on. So I got Nakamura or Sami Zayn versus, and then 3 more participants.
3 more. Oh,
hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're adding what? 8 to this? 8 or that sounds
8.
Right. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it would be 8.
Why do they need that many people in the Money in the Bank?
It's not usually 8, is it? It's not usually like 6.
I think when they first did it, it was like 8 people. When
you might be right.
First did it.
Yeah, but that's what it says. It could be wrong. Again, I'm on Wikipedia. That doesn't mean it's right.
That's too many people. I don't know.
I just will say, can I say real quick about that match? If Omos wins, I'm never watching wrestling ever again. I will never watch a WWE ever again if he wins. You said, Tina, a few weeks ago, I'm listening to you guys, and your critique or your constructive criticism of him was, well, he's not as bad as the Giant Gonzalez. Well, that's good. He's not as bad as the worst wrestler in the history of professional wrestling. That's not exactly praise, Tina. Okay? No. He's so bad. It's like trying to wrestle a piano. Like I've never seen. He can't move. He can't punch. He can't bump. He doesn't do anything right. He can barely hit the ropes.
Well, I said he was clunky.
He's awful. All right, I'm sorry. You're being nice.
That same stupid.
Yeah. He has no emotion, no charisma. He has nothing other than size.
He reminds me of Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. The way he sounds, the way he moves. I'm like, God, they should have cast him as Nemesis in the movies.
And I thought when they gave him MVP, I was like, okay, this might work because he won't have to talk for himself. Maybe MVP can, work with him a little
very
bit,
good at it.
Great talker
and everything. And I was like, this is a good thing for him. And I don't see anything.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's bad. I just think it's really hard for tall people, big, bulky, tall people to move around in the ring like you have to. I mean, I know there are some exceptions. Matt Morgan moved around pretty well, but
I think Kevin Nash moved around a bit when he was younger.
He's all right.
I'm not saying he was. He wasn't Luthez. I'm just saying he's
sorry.
he was 10 times better than Omos. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Oh, on the women's side, we have Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and I guess 4 more people. According
it says Asuka, Aaliyah, or Aaliyah or Shotzi. Yeah, right. They haven't released them all. It looks like they're going to do 8 too. That's wild.
So now now the guys' Money in the Bank is going to be interesting because Cody's out and Randy's out. So who would be the Money in the Bank?
Seth is
Who
your
would be
only
a Money in the
option.
Bank winner?
You know what?
Would they try to do another heist of the century with Seth Rollins, Brock and Roman at SummerSlam?
Oh, that's a great idea.
I'd love it.
Oh, I
It,
love that. I'm envisioning it right now. It's brilliant. Remember when that happened originally?
I was there.
Oh my god!
I was there. It was
The
nuts.
roof almost came off that place.
There was no roof to begin with, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you were outdoors, right? That was
Levi Stadium.
Okay, the
That
metaphorical
was the
roof.
most
Oh, okay, it was the metaphor I was going for.
Charged match I've ever taken a part of live. Oh my god! If I watch it again, I'm right back in Levi Stadium because man, the anxieties. Like wow, it was.
That match kicked into high gear. Like the match itself was like wasn't bad like before Rollins came out, but when Rollins came out, it just he was out there for a good solid 8-10 minutes before he actually won it. And it just the intensity that picked up when he came out was just really incredible. Oh my god, imagine they did that again. The only other thing I was gonna say was I still love Sami Zayn. And if they could just you know what, listen, they signed him long term. Oh, give him the belt just once. It'll make me really happy.
And you know what? He's trying to say he's an honorary member of the bloodline. Maybe he has to wait to get inside Roman's head and take a title from him because, Roman's got 2 belts.
It's what I love about Zayn's character. It's always just bordering on delusional. And it just he's very consistent like that. So that's why I've always been a big fan.
I really think Sami Zayn could, try to get in Roman's head. He's trying to get in the circle or whatnot. And that would actually be I could actually see that happening, him taking one of the titles from Roman.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
Because I still think Roman will lose the belt to Cody. So I think that's going to be the case because wrestling has more than one royal family.
No, Roman will if he loses it, he'll definitely win it back before WrestleMania. But yeah, I don't know. This pay-per-view could be all right. I mean, I'm not looking forward Ronda and Natalia. I'm kind of all set with Rousey at this point. But yeah, you got Lashley and Riddle. Might be all right. I don't know.
Lashley and Austin Theory for the United States title. And then
Lashley in Theory. I'm sorry. What a shock. I screw up Riddle in Theory. What a shock. Imagine that was like your WrestleMania main event 3 years from now. Riddle versus Theory. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But that could be all right. Theory and Lashley. And so now it's going to be Bianca. Here we go. Instead of Bianca versus Rhea Ripley, it's now, get ready. Hold on to your hats. Bianca versus Carmella.
But
That's going to be That's going to be a barn burner, really.
But will it really be? Because we thought we were getting that last year at SummerSlam.
Oh, that's right.
Beating Becky Lynch. So maybe Bayley.
That's right.
Oh, Bayley. God, she's got to be ready. That would be great. I would definitely pop for that.
But hopefully Bayley would not win in 18. What was it? 3 seconds or something like that. So hopefully it would be a real match and not that.
I want to say that I really like the fact that they're having it where Becky is literally losing her mind.
Yeah, she's doing great.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate them having Carmella win just for the fact that Becky's losing her shit every time. It's funny.
It's great.
Speaking of losing it, we have to hold on for a second because we have someone special in the chat.
Yes. Hey, Kenzie.
We had a great interview with Kenzie last week, and if anybody wants to go back and listen to the full thing, it is on our YouTube channel. It should be posted in our Facebook page if you can't find it. So please go check that out. It was awesome.
We had so much fun with Kenji. He was like, I think we just became best friends. Absolutely. Because I guess how he got his last name.
Okay. I don't know where it happened.
Yes, I'm not letting that go. My Parasite Eve fandom has come into play after all these years.
I don't
But
know
it was a
why,
great
but
interview. Definitely check it out. He was amazing to talk to, and he's going to be on a future show with us. So
I actually did catch some of it live. It was great. It was really great.
thank you.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
oh goodness. Okay. Before I go off, okay? Before I go off, I'm going to say that AEW is my favorite show on TV right now, okay?
Yeah.
It's at least watchable. But the build up to this pay-per-view has been not good. This Tony is such a spazzy little squirrel. He doesn't know which direction he's looking at. And he needs to calm down and figure stuff out. That's all I'm going to say. Because this doesn't make any sense. Okay.
Listen, here's the thing that's bothering me about this is still a very new company on the when you think about it on the grand scheme of things. It's really a new promotion. And what they're doing with Forbidden Door is not helping their product at all, because the only people who know who these New Japan guys are people who are already AEW fans. That you have to be like a diehard wrestling fan and an AEW fan to know these guys, to know that they've wrestled, some of them at least have wrestled in New Japan, then to have bridged that to start actually watching New Japan yourself. So they already have the New Japan fan base. They're not gaining any more followers, and you can actually see it. And I know you're going to bring it up in another segment, but you can see it in their viewing numbers in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about, like, listen, I love New Japan. I've been following it for a number of years, but nobody for the most part around here knows who any of these guys are. And so when you run them out to the ring as if everyone, like, their household names, and you don't have to explain other than Excalibur just screaming things over and over again that nobody knows what he's talking about, it's not helping. It's not selling tickets. It's not gaining you new fans. It's just sitting you right in the middle. And now you're actually dropping in ratings.
You would think they would help promote New Japan better, because they have New Japan shows on AXS for those that can get that channel, and they have a YouTube channel and stuff like that. So yeah, I could see where that's coming from, and I'm just excited because, like, I wanted Danielson and Okada, but I'll definitely take him and Zack Sabre Jr. Oh my god,
that'd be good too. Yeah, and that's going
to be like the match of the century.
That's what they're saying. Maybe Danielson will be saying tomorrow night when he comes out. Maybe it'll be him and Sabre. I'll take that. What is actually, you want to know something? And I'm gonna try to keep myself calm here because I'm gonna get upset, because outside of Will Ospreay's, choreographed trampoline matches with Ricochet a few years ago, other than that, I've loved that guy, Ospreay. And ever since he put on some weight, he's a heavyweight now. He doesn't rely so much on the flips. He actually mat wrestles now and incorporates the high flying stuff a lot less. It looks great. His match with Dax the other night, I thought, was by far the highlight of the show.
That was good.
Terrific match, right? He looked great. And now he's gonna wrestle Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door.
I was just about to.
Are you kidding me? This guy's supposed to be, according to Dave Meltzer, like the best wrestler in the world, and he's gonna wrestle like the sideshow guy. Like I don't get it. I've nothing against Orange Cassidy as a human being. He's making money. He's selling merchandise. Congratulations. But as far as taking him seriously as a professional wrestler, I just can't do it. It's a joke. It's always again. That same show that I saw Matt Riddle, I saw Orange Cassidy. It was maybe like 4 years ago. And I remember being like, who is this guy? It was funny for like a minute. And now it's like, all right, let's get the wrestlers out here now. And they're like, oh, he's wrestling. Oh, great. And it's the same thing. And now it's going to be him and Ospreay. I don't know. Not a fan.
Ospreay tweeted, I think it was today, that his dad is a cancer survivor. He beat cancer. He tweeted that, I think, today. And his dad beat cancer, so good.
Congrats. Love Ospreay. I think Ospreay's a superstar. I think he's really, really good. I just
want to know what Orange... Why are they so, like, okay, he's okay, and I find Orange Cassidy entertaining.
Yeah, he's funny at times. I'll give you that.
But I don't take him seriously as a, like, okay, it's time to get down to business type You know, he's like the comic relief. So why is he like one of the few getting a one-on-one match on a pay-per-view, and everybody else is getting thrown together with these random people that it? Okay.
Yeah, is Wardlow wrestling anybody?
No.
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 Why? Like, why? he's like their future. Like,
this is what we have confirmed so far. Okay, Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy. We have a winner take all for the IWGP and the Ring of Honor tag team titles. FTR versus United Empire versus Roppongi Vice.
That's gonna be good.
Okay. That's okay.
yeah, especially if FTR wins all those belts, that's gonna make me very happy.
This is what doesn't make sense to me. Okay, Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. Okay, what does Suzuki got to do with the other two people? Okay, what?
I guess because he's in Suzuki. Like, didn't Lance Archer? No, that was the Moxley thing. I can't exactly. I think Tony's off his meds or something. Like it's like he's throwing these things out there, and no one knows what he's doing, and no one knows who half the people are, and so none of it. Like the three of us are wrestling fans. Like we know this stuff, die hard, and none of us can sit here and say why Minoru Suzuki is in this match. That's staggering.
That's a surprise to me.
If none of us know.
Well, and the thing is, too, Minoru Suzuki, this isn't his first run with AEW, so I would think they would have him go against, like, maybe Moxley or somebody like that, because that's what he did the first time.
Moxley's in the thing, in the interim title.
That's
I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm all right with Suzuki not being in there at all. He's like 54 years old. He can barely move anymore. He's a legend. Good for him. He has one of my favorite. Go back and watch his match at the G1 Climax 2013 versus 14 versus AJ Styles. One of the best matches I've ever seen. And another legitimate badass. Want to talk about an MMA fighter, Suzuki. But he can't move anymore. Like, and it's just like, why? And same thing with New Japan. They have plenty of other talent. Why is Suzuki in this match? And who is that against?
Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
Yuta.
Oh, you had me at Kingston.
Shota Umino. I'm sorry if I pronounce these people's names wrong because I don't know who they are. And
yeah.
Even if we didn't know who they are, they need to assume that people don't, and just do a video package, something, and not just have them randomly run out there or just randomly being announced by Jericho for no reason. Oh, by the way, and see, the thing is that this is how it happened was that Moxley and Tanahashi was out there doing stuff for their match, okay? That part was fine. Had nothing problem, and then Jericho comes out of the blue. What does Jericho have to do with this segment? Nothing. And they go out there and beat them down for no reason. They haven't. And then he grabs the microphone and goes, "Oh, by the way, we're going to have this match, and the two people we just beat down are not in it." Why?
Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Stinky. I accidentally kicked the dog. I'm sorry.
I'm going to assume Chris Jericho hijacked this segment is my guess, because most of the stuff he's one of these guys that should not be left to his own devices. Like it just doesn't work when he's coming up with his own stuff. It's been like that for a while now. Let's be honest. Most of the stuff he's done outside of his title run wasn't bad. Outside of his title run, most of it's been pretty bad, and it's just continuing now, and none of it has any rhyme or reason. Yes. Like, why the hell did they have? Why did they do a hair versus hair match the other night? Like, what? Just because they haven't done it yet? It made no sense. He just does this stuff. He throws it out there, and Tony Khan can't say no.
It was Santana, right? Against Santana. He cut his own hair.
It was Ortiz.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was like cutting his dreadlocks off. He gigged himself by accident. He's bleeding from his head. It looked ridiculous.
Well, Issa, who is a friend of the page, because she's been on here before, she's from Puerto Rico, and she says it's been like 110 degrees. So maybe it just got really hot in Puerto Rico where he's from, and so he said, "Hey, I need a haircut. Jericho, do you want to help me out?" I don't know.
That's a better reason than whatever Jericho had. I can tell you that right now. It's less preposterous than what Jericho did. All right, what else is
Instead,
Forbidden Door?
I hope
Come on.
Eddie Kingston does not get injured at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, oh my God!
Yes.
Is anybody else?
Don't do
Tina,
it, Sarah.
Tina.
Do
Let me
it.
let me
I
ask.
hope he doesn't.
Let me ask you a question, though. In all honesty, Tina, are you concerned at all that the Eddie Kingston wave, the chance that we had with him, is gone? You know what I mean? Like, there was a moment where we all could have agreed, like, we should put the belt on this guy right now. That's how hot he is. I'm afraid it's gone, and I blame Jericho a lot for it.
Yeah, I think Jericho is trying, but I think Eddie
Yeah.
has that relatable. Everyone still loves him.
Yeah, I
I
couldn't agree.
I think
I
he's
think
fine.
as soon as he gets away from Jericho, I think he'll be okay.
They better do it soon.
But I think it you know, because he tried to do the not that he's intentionally doing this. Okay, I don't think that's the case. But it almost happened with MJF too,
Mm-hmm.
because that went way too
MJF
long.
survived.
This is going way too long. That's the problem, is that he doesn't know how to do just the putting someone over and moving on.
Yep, he's gonna draw it out.
It's
All
like,
right, just
dude,
asking. I'd be very sad if that was the case. I'm concerned that is the case now, which sucks.
Yeah,
I'm a big Kingston fan.
me too.
I've heard.
Just I mean, okay. I even have people sending me stuff now, so I got that in the mail from somebody watching it.
It's amazing.
Yep. Okay. So,
All right, sorry. Well, so we again
That's
off
okay.
track. Off track. What else?
Apparently, Mina isn't interested in the show tonight. She hasn't been in here.
Well, see, it's been bad. That's why
Bad news everywhere. Mina's like,
I'm over
peace
it.
out. I'm out. We'll holler.
Okay, so Dynamite was at what, 797 or something like that last week, and then Rampage was even worse with like 331. It was
The
bad.
Dynamite one was staggering because it was close to like a
Yeah.
200,000 viewer drop. It was like almost 20% drop. I mean, that's massive.
Well, it also proves Eric Bischoff wrong, saying that CM Punk's not a draw.
Oh yeah, clearly. I mean, but it's not just Punk. You're missing MJF. Brian Danielson's been out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the show the week before was not as dreadful, but it wasn't good.
It was 9 something.
It was okay. Yeah, right. That's what I mean.
It
Like,
was good.
as far as ratings go, but if the show itself, the show was okay. I just don't think it inspired anybody to turn the show on the following week. And that showed because 20% of the people didn't. And again, it's not having those guys, and it's also a lot of these New Japan guys that nobody knows.
Yeah.
So like, well, yeah, I really want to turn this on to see a bunch of guys that don't even know what the hell's going on. I don't blame people for not watching. I watched it, but I didn't like it.
What do you think the problem is? Because it's not like that they don't have anyone in there that knows better. You have JR, who knows better. You have William Regal. Are they not listening?
I don't think, if I'm being really honest, if you listen to JR's commentary, it sounds a lot like he's mailed it in. He doesn't care. They're paying him more money than he's probably going to make definitely going to make anywhere else. He's going to just sit there and shut his mouth and get his paycheck. I don't know what input Regal has. I don't know. Is Arn Anderson still kicking around? I don't know. I haven't seen him. Is he there still? I don't know. Well, you know that Tony Khan books everything, right? He's in charge of everything. He was even when Max Caster got in trouble for making that Simone Biles joke. He came out and was like, "Oh, I read everybody's scripts. I just got to read this one. Now I'm going to read everybody's every week."
Yeah.
Well, Tony Khan, let's face it, he's not the best booker. He's not a wrestling guy.
A squirrel.
Yeah, he's not a wrestling guy. Look, he's got some outside the box ideas which work on occasion, but he's not a wrestling guy. He doesn't know what things make sense and what don't. He's not a guy that's done it for you all these years.
I think a lot of it's trial and error too, but I will say that his booking is better than WWE's most of the time.
I mean, I don't know if it's better. It's more. I'd say it's more entertaining at times. The WWE, it's just so boring. It's so boring. It's just
it's watchable at least.
Yeah, the WWE just puts me to sleep. I mean, I'd say the WWE comes off more professional, But at least like when you watch AEW, you can go, oh, something might happen that I don't think is going to happen. Whereas you could probably tell me every single minute's going to happen to Raw next week of 3 hours that they're going to cut a promo and that's going to lead to a 6-man tag match. That's your first 45 minutes of the show. It's like you just know that every week. Yeah. So it's so predictable. Oh God, it's like neither one of them wants to win this war. They're both right for the picking and nobody wants to win it. It's so frustrating.
Let's see who can kill pro wrestling faster.
They're trying. If someone's trying to win that, it's happening.
Anybody else got input in the comments? Tom!
Yeah, Tom loves AEW. He's awesome.
You're right, Tom. Tom Clark. Tom Clark's main event. Respond to my message, Tom. I sent you a message a week ago.
He's been busy hanging out with celebrities.
I know.
Okay. Oh, it's time for the main event. Speaking of the main event. You ready?
Oh, we gonna do this?
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
So you want me to handle you want me to be the mediator in this one?
Yes.
Because you two could not be, and I'm kind of in the middle. And I don't think either one of you two could be on any different sides of the fence, further away from each other on this topic.
Okay.
Let's do this. So I didn't actually see. I got a Bleacher Report update that Lesnar was back. Mm-hmm. So it's official, right?
Yeah.
Lesnar Reigns SummerSlam.
He came out in a last man standing match.
Okay. Tina, tell me why this is good.
Okay. Number one, I'm not a fan of the match itself. Because it's happened a lot, and I get it, okay? I get it. But in the current situation, they're like, oh no, we haven't built people up because we're bad at stuff. And our guys are just out all of a sudden. Randy Orton has an injury. Cody Rhodes has an injury. Yada, yada. What are we going to do? We already have something lined up for John Cena, so we can't go on that route again. So what are we going to do? We're going to have Brock Bellis out yet again. And even though everyone is tired of this match, it still will draw. It still will draw. I know it's the 8th time, but it will draw. And it's the second biggest show of the year, so they have to have a huge match for Roman Reigns. You can't have Roman Reigns missing SummerSlam. You can't do it. So that's my case.
Okay, well, totally understandable. Sarah, why is this a bad thing?
Well, they put themselves into a corner, like we said all the time, all these injuries and stuff. And, let's see if Brock wants to come out of the woods and go to SummerSlam. But, to me, it was predictable. It was like, of course they're going to call him in. But SummerSlam is in Nissan Stadium in Nashville. So they got to fill the seats. They already couldn't do it for Money in the Bank. So they got to have a big name. And obviously, with everybody else out, Brock Lesnar is the person, unfortunately. With that being said, I think him and Roman have had good matches. The one at WrestleMania, I think Roman did get hurt during that match, so it didn't come off as it should, and perhaps they will get another chance at that here at SummerSlam. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, I still think if Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank, we could see that happening again at SummerSlam. Awesome. So I don't. Yeah, it's just, God, really. It's easier to throw out money versus putting the thinking cap on and say, "Hey, what can we do?" That's gonna, geez. You would think KO would be a good, formidable opponent for Roman, but he's kind of he's kind of losing his shit too on Raw because he doesn't know whether Ezekiel and Elias are brothers or the same person.
Yeah. Again, that was funny for like a minute. I don't know why they're still doing that. But well, Sam, let me ask you this: at this point, do you think that Roman and Brock are gonna like actually sell the place out?
That's a tall order, I think.
Because I don't think I'm buying that ticket personally. I don't know, but that's me. You know, Tina's probably already bought it. Let's be honest. But
yeah, you know, Nashville is like a 7-8 hour drive for me. Me and my nephew were talking about going. Obviously, we probably not. But yeah, that's going to be a tall order because you know we've seen this time and time again. You know, the probability of Brock winning, I don't know if he's going to win or not because Roman won at WrestleMania.
Well, that's my other question. What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? You can't have Roman win again, or you put the belt on Brock, who's never there. And like you guys said, maybe if this is a means to an end for the person whoever wins Money in the Bank to cash it in, I'm all right with that.
Depending on who it is. Or is it for just one of them?
I don't know. It's got to be for both, right? Isn't it only just one right now? Technically,
you know, with Seth cashing in at Money in the Bank in 2015, that was a way to keep Brock Lesnar strong, taking the title off of him because they knew at that point in time, if Roman won the title in Levi's Stadium, it was going to be bad.
Oh yeah, especially after that Royal Rumble. Oof.
It was going to be bad. Oof. And so having Seth cash in and pinning Roman, that kind of made everybody happy, but it kept Brock Lesnar strong and gave him a way to go back to the woods for however long. And, you know, so yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, wow, man, it's hard to say because, I mean, yeah, they'll draw. Will they sell the place out? I don't know.
I don't think they'll sell the place out.
They'll sell more than most likely anybody else Roman will wrestle. But
yeah, exactly. That was my point. And the thing is are they still considering it one title or is it still two? Because I haven't watched the product in a while.
I'm pretty sure it's just called the Undisputed Championship now.
Does he still come out with two titles, or is it?
I think he comes. I think he comes out with two belts.
They unified the titles because, you know,
they don't have anybody.
They
cut everyone else.
If they want to separate the titles, they could either have Brock win one of them, and Roman still looks huge if Brock beats him because it's Brock. Okay, it's not like Ezekiel coming out there. You know,
right? Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Or, you know, have Seth Rollins come in and cash in and he takes one of them off of him in a cash in and he still looks big because he's still he's gassed from his match with Brock, right?
You know, and they can flip around this time instead of instead of Roman eating the pin, Brock eating the pin.
It's
Roman. That will keep Roman in that not being pinned thing he's got going on too.
It is just one championship. It is now the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Okay. I know. So, it's just who writes this shit.
In that case, if Seth cashes in, he's losing because they're not going to take the title off of Roman right now.
Oh, hell no.
So
booking themselves into a corner.
Like usual.
Ron says they needed someone to fill the void who can stand the loss to get to the Cardiff show where Drew will win. I don't think Drew will win.
I don't think Drew will win, but that's definitely the next
step. I mean, if he does, he'll lose it back within, the next month. But I wouldn't be completely stunned. Slightly stunned.
Yeah,
what if Drew won Money in the Bank and cashed in because he's defeated Brock Lesnar?
Yeah. Just leave the sword at home because it just this is not we're not cosplaying down at the park. Just
the point. Okay, I say this a lot. I'm a big story girl. Okay, and so when you finally have Roman lose, you have to make it mean something. So him cheap. This is cheap. So, in my opinion, Roman shouldn't lose, period, at all until they want Cody or somebody else coming in to do that big job.
Right. No, I get that, but then how? But then how do you do?
WWE, I know.
I agree with you. But then how do you do Roman and Brock? You're just gonna have Roman win again?
Last man standing. Last man standing. I think there's going to be some interference involved.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
Yes.
Oh,
last man standing.
Crutch.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some involvement, some way, somehow. I mean, we know the bloodline's going to be a part of it, but
can you really hurt Brock Lesnar right now, though? I mean,
I know. We're talking about Brock,
lose.
baby. I'm sorry.
He can lose to Roman, and he'll be just fine.
Sarah, your cat is getting your Brock energy right now. Like, she's pissed right now.
She's like, no, not Brock. Too bad I don't have a dog. He'd be in here going, yes, Brock.
Yes, come here. I know you want to go on TV. Stinky, get out of the way so she can come here. Come here.
Sheena says that WWE is confused. They do things for a shock value with no long-term plans. In general, both companies do.
100%. Yeah, but she's 100% right. They used to book things out like a year in advance. Yeah. Now it's just like every week it's something different. They just don't have any long-term plan for anything.
Well, they don't even know if they'll have the people in a year, so how can they?
Well, you know what? You have people under contract. Just work with them.
Release them, though.
Oh, God.
We got to make them profit margins bigger and bigger. Ray is saying seeing Brock back is terrible.
I mean.
Ray. Boo list.
Yeah, Ray's.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
Here, see?
I was so nice to you, Ray. I made you an Adam Cole clip, and that is how you repay me? I'm just kidding. I understand that I'm like one of the few that likes Brock. So
No, I like Brock. I mean, like, again, I like guys who are legitimate. Like guys who legitimately, the guy was a UFC heavyweight champion. He's a legitimate fighter. Like, I like guys like that. It's old school, but yeah, it's run its course. This feud, at least, has run its course.
Well, the thing is about him is that people say he's not entertaining and he's boring. He just comes out there and he does his thing and he goes home. I find him highly entertaining. If you just look at his mannerisms, even when he was with Paul Heyman and doing the Beast thing, eat, sleep, conquer, repeat, he just sit there and troll everybody. He just stand there and laugh at them. I thought that was hilarious, but I get that everybody doesn't.
Well, his working style too. It makes sense because if you could suplex a guy 17 times in a row, why wouldn't you?
Right.
If that's your best way to win, just do it. It's realistic. I like that.
Well, and he doesn't need to be doing anything flashy either.
No. Remember when he did that to Cena? Remember the one with Cena at SummerSlam years back when he suplexed him like 17 times in a row and just hit an F5 and it was over? It's like, everyone was like, what was that? I loved that match. That was great. Made sense.
Ray's like, Brock has fought 500 million times. Yeah. Ron says Brock is entertaining. Sheena's laughing at the little clip.
That was really good.
Shane is saying, I wish WWE would put AJ Styles with Miz back in the hunt for the title.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that too. I mean,
Styles all day.
That was my thing. Like the first when Cody got hurt, and they got Edge out of Judgment Day. That was the first thing Alan said was like, they need a major baby face. Edge would be it. And I was like, well, yeah, but what about AJ Styles? Hello.
Always works. That always works, AJ.
Yeah, that's why
And him and Roman have a little bit of a past with each other. Remember when Roman first became champion years back? They had a couple of really good pay-per-view matches right in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, like AJ Styles could.
Anybody really?
I was gonna say AJ Styles could get something out of me right now. Like he's incredible. So
AJ is one of my favorites of all time.
Ever. He's another Georgia guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
He's
this?
Oh gosh, I gotta tell you that story. Okay, let's see if I can. You see that sign right there that says P30 on it?
I do.
My sister-in-law painted that for me for my 30th birthday because I love AJ Styles. And she was like, the 30s are awesome. They're phenomenal. So she made me that sign. And I took it with me to my meet and greet with him one time right before SmackDown. And it was a birthday present from a friend of mine. And I go up there with my sign and I hand it to him. And he looks at it and he goes, "What's this?" And his very Gainesville, Georgia accent.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. So I explained it to him. He goes, "Oh, okay. Phenomenal 30. That's cool." He was like, 30s are cool, but when you reach your 40s, that's when your body starts breaking down on you. And I was like, well, you do fall on your back on purpose. So there's that.
Yeah. He's only slow, and to be fair, he's only slowed down slightly. Like he's still ridiculous.
Yeah. I think he keeps himself in good shape too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I love AJ. There's a lot of AJ love in the comments.
AJ's a man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we've been talking for an hour and a half. Yeah, that's cool.
3 weeks before his debut at the Royal Rumble, and the picture is blurry. His friend took the picture, and his friend did me wrong.
All right, is there anything else? We've been on here for an hour and a half, and we managed to keep everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be it. I mean, there's only so much bad news we can talk about before we're all in bad moods.
Yeah. Well, Tim, do you have anything to plug?
Outside of my podcast, not really. And I will warn anybody, it's a movie podcast. It's called The Movie Council. You can find it on. Actually, we're not on YouTube like you guys are, but we're on the podcast app. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. We just talk about all different movie-related stuff. These girls, just fair warning, if anybody does want to listen to it, these girls do tend to behave themselves language-wise. I'm with two of my older brothers and a kid from Charlotte. We don't. So I behave myself here. But we just talk movies. We talk about all different life-related things. It goes off the rails usually because it's on Friday nights. But it's called The Movie Council. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. You can find it.
That's right, Wyatt. You're not allowed to listen to that.
Don't.
That's mortified. My nephew. He doesn't watch us live, but he watches the replay. So he's 9. So yeah, we keep it clean.
For the most part, yeah.
My podcast does not, but it's still fun to listen to, especially if you're a movie fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we thank you for joining us. I had fun as always.
As always, anytime.
It was the 3 of us now, so
I know.
Finally did it.
Dream team, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, Shane. Shane says, Tina, before you go, I'd like to see a DVD of the life of Eddie Kingston. I wonder how he got into wrestling. I want to see that too. He's trying so hard to get on the cheer list.
Yeah. Shane always has something to say to Tina about Eddie Kingston. So yeah. He's turned the corner. We're shocked.
I know.
Tina, before we wrap up for the evening, could you do the Eddie Kingston Fight Me clip again? Because I was a big fan of that. If you've got it queued up for everybody.
Okay.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
I don't know why I love that
It
so
in
much.
almost every podcast we do.
It's great.
I love it. Big fan.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Peaches and Power Bombs. Like always, like, share, subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel. Check us out over there.
Check
as
out our
always.
interview with Kenji Bree on YouTube as well.
Yes, please. That was an awesome time, and he'll be on at some point in the future. Everything's up in the air right now because I have surgery next week. Thank God. It's finally here. I've been waiting for forever. All right. So we'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Night.